Thank you for joining the Travels with Kev podcast, the podcast that helps to get you on track to travel. Whether you're a new traveler just starting out or an intermediate traveler just trying to fill in a few gaps to become a better traveler, we are here. Actually, I'm here for you. I'm Kev, and I'll be your host for today. On today's podcast, we'll be discussing Amtrak's Cardinal. Amtrak's Cardinal is a relaxing mode of transportation between Chicago, Illinois, and New York City. The train provides both coach and sleeping car accommodations for your convenience, along with food service. This train, in total, serves 36 communities by rail, including Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, Charlottesville, Cincinnati, and Indianapolis. Amtrak offers connecting services for more destinations to expand this train's reach. This podcast will give you the information you need to know how to plan your next trip aboard Amtrak's Cardinal. Taking Amtrak is convenient for passengers in several ways. Many station stops are in downtown areas, unlike airports. The Cardinal serves many communities without access to airports and other forms of mass transportation. Another advantage of train travel is less jet lag and an opportunity to sit back and enjoy the scenery. Frequency and equipment used. The Cardinal runs 3 days between Chicago, Illinois, and New York, New York. The train leaves Chicago on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, and leaves New York on Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday. The train uses one or more GE Genesis series locomotives between Chicago and D.C., and a Siemens electric locomotive between D.C. and New York. Rail cars include Amtrak's Amfleet 2 and Viewliner equipment. As before, the Cardinal offers coach seating, roomettes, bedrooms, and accessible rooms for you to reserve. The Cardinal's numbers. All Amtrak trains are named and numbered. The names make it easier for you to remember what train you need to be on, and the numbers help make sure you are on the right train. The train numbers identify the train's directions. The Cardinal, going east, is train number 50, and train number 51 going west. Buying tickets for the Cardinal. If you would like to book a reservation for the Cardinal, you have options including Amtrak's app and website, over the phone by calling 1-800-USA-RAIL, or at staff stations. Some staffed and unstaffed stations have quick track kiosks allowing you to use your credit or debit card to purchase tickets. This train offers travel opportunities beyond the rails using Amtrak's connecting service, and you reserve these services along with your ticket. If you are purchasing your ticket at a station, you will leave with a paper ticket, plus you can also request an email copy. If you book online, your tickets get emailed to you. More on this topic in the next section. Several travel agencies offer Amtrak booking services if you are looking for someone to make reservations for you. Do not plan on buying tickets on the train. You can, however, purchase tickets on the phone and pick them up on the train, and sometimes pay for them, but this is limited circumstances. You will need to call Amtrak or visit a staff station to book an accessible room, bedroom suites, or if you want something special like 2 roomettes across from each other. What you need to know about tickets. If you want to ride the Cardinal, you need a ticket, either paper or digital, to board the train, plus a valid government ID. Amtrak ticket readers can randomly ask the conductors to check IDs. This hasn't happened to me, but it has happened to my travel companions. Amtrak sends you an email containing your ticket and receipt after purchasing your ticket over the phone or on the internet. Once you receive that email, either print off the PDF or flag the email so you can quickly find it and show the conductors from your smart device. Tickets on your smart device. The Amtrak app can store your ticket. It works best when you're signed up for Amtrak Guest Rewards. Another option is to use a wallet app like Apple Wallet. Screenshots also give you quick access to your tickets even when there is no internet. Boarding the Cardinal. When it is time to board your train, have your tickets out and ready for conductors and attendants to look at and scan. Your ticket tells the staff of your accommodation information. It is not uncommon for your ticket to get scanned by the conductor after you board the train. Listen carefully for instructions given by the Amtrak staff so you end up in the right spot. Often coach seats are assigned before you enter the train, but not always. After you are seated, conductors place a card over your head with your destination on it so they know when it is your time to get off. Amtrak asks you to not move to another car without talking to a conductor first, because conductors often group passengers with the same destination in the same car, so boarding and deboarding is less disruptive, especially at night. Plus, they like to save seats for groups so that they can sit together. The Cardinal route. It takes the Cardinal 26.5 hours to travel 1,147 miles from start to finish. For the complete timetable and also a route guide, please check out the show notes so you can go to the web page that corresponds with this podcast. Who owns the track the Cardinal uses? Amtrak does not own all of the tracks that the Cardinal rides on. So, they use host railroads. The Cardinal runs on tracks owned by Amtrak, Metra, CSX, Norfolk Southern, Buckingham Branch, Canadian National, Union Pacific, and the Beltway Railroad Company. What is the Cardinal's on-time reliability? For 2002, the Cardinal was on time 65% of the time. Majority of the Cardinal route is over CSX and Norfolk Southern tracks. In 2020, CSX achieved an on-time score of a B+ with a 4-year average of a B. On the other hand, Norfolk Southern scored a C with a 4-year average of an F. These two railroads led to most of Amtrak's Cardinal's delays. How to see if the Cardinal is running on time? There are a few ways to see if your train is running on time. The first way is the Amtrak app or website. The second is by calling 1-800-USA-RAIL. The third is, ironically, third-party sites. There are more information about tracking your train in the corresponding website. Baggage on Amtrak. Amtrak has a generous carry-on policy that allows you 2 28-inch suitcases plus 2 personal items. All bags must weigh 50 pounds or less. Coach cars offer storage above the seats plus in a luggage rack at one end of the car. But keep in mind that no one guards stowed luggage. Sleeper cars have spaces in the room for your belongings, like above the door in roomettes. Check bag service is not available for all stops. Before you leave, to prevent a day of travel surprise, verify that the departure and arrival station offer check bag service. If one or both do not provide this service, you will need to carry all your luggage on board. If you know ahead of time, you can pack accordingly. Your check bags will transfer with you between trains, with the possible exception of bus transfers. When in doubt, ask onboard or station staff. If you check your bags, you will not have access to them until you reach your final destination. So if you need medication, electronic devices, snacks, or anything else, make sure you pack them in your carry-on. You must check your bag at least 45 minutes before the departure of your train. Connecting to other trains. The Cardinal allows easy connections with all long-distance trains in or out of Chicago, plus many regional trains. Depending on where you're going, the Cardinal will enable you to transfer to the Silver Service for passengers traveling to the Carolinas, Georgia, or Florida, or stay on and head to New York and the New England area. Food and alcohol on Amtrak's Cardinal. Bringing food on the Cardinal. You can bring food and beverages aboard the train, but remember, others will be around you, so be considerate of what you bring. Due to FDA regulations, do not bring food or drinks into Amtrak food service cars that you did not purchase on board. Food for children is an exception. Also, Amtrak cannot store or warm any food or beverage that you brought on board. Bringing alcohol on the Cardinal. You may transport adult beverages in coach class, but you cannot partake from your stash as you travel. If you are caught partaking in your own stash, or if you get out of hand from drinking too much, you may get kicked off the train and possibly fined. Sleeping car passengers can bring and consume adult beverages in their room, but they can be thrown off the train for belligerent behaviors just like coach passengers. The Amtrak Cafe Car. Coach and sleeper car passengers can purchase meals, snacks, and beverages, including adult beverages, in the cafe car. Sleeper passengers get their meals from this car on this train. Amtrak car attendants use a cardboard tray to make it easier to transport your food. For this train, the cafe is split into 3 sections. The side closest to the coach cars are for the coach passengers. The middle space is the retail space, and the back space close to the sleepers are for sleeper car passengers. For information on car layout. Car layouts. If you're interested to see what each of the passenger cars look like, please visit the Cardinal blog post, where I have car diagrams and more information on each car. Links for this are, once again, in the description. Walking around the train. First-time train riders should know a few tidbits about walking around the train. The first point is, trains are linear, meaning one car is in front of the other, so you may need to walk through a few cars to get to the one you desire. The second thing to remember is trains are moving, and they sway back and forth as they go down the track. Plus, there are some rough parts of the track when going through switches and other areas. Use the seat backs or luggage racks for support. Avoid stepping on the plates where 2 cars come together, and use the candy cane striped handles for support. Shoes are always required when walking about the train. Thirdly, the aisle of the train is narrow, and it does not allow for people walking in opposite directions to pass simultaneously. So, at times, if you have 2 seats to yourself, people might step into your space or back into your accommodation for a second to let somebody else pass. Be courteous of others as you walk through the train. Notable views and fun information for the Cardinal. The Cardinal serves an essential role for Amtrak. This train moves cars and locomotives to and from Amtrak's Beech Grove facilities. When the train leaves Chicago, it could be longer than normal with a mix of equipment, or it gets longer on the way back to Chicago. The Cardinal picks up and drops off cars at the Indianapolis stop. This train travels through the Blue Ridge and Allegheny Mountains, the Shenandoah Valley, and the wild white water rivers of West Virginia. Some of these stunning views are only visible by train. For the transportation and train nerds, Washington, D.C. could be a fun stop for you. In D.C., the mighty Cardinal changes power. Northbound trains shed its diesel-electric engine for an electric, and the southbound trains do the opposite. During these engine swaps in D.C., there are times when the train will not have power. The restrooms will not work during this time, and the food service car may be closed. You may get off the train and stretch your legs while the engines are being swapped. Bathrooms and showers. There are 2 bathrooms in each coach car, across from each other, plus the cafe has one. For sleepers, the new Viewliners, those are the ones with the burgundy interiors, have 1 bathroom at the end of the car, plus in each bedroom and accessible room. Older sleeper cars, the ones with the blue interiors, have a toilet in each room. Each sleeping car has a shower for roomette and accessible passengers, plus each bedroom has its own. It is in the small bathroom. There are no shower facilities for coach passengers. Fresh air stops. There are several fresh air stops along the route. Fresh air breaks allow you to get off the train and stretch your legs, and to get a breath of, as the name applies, fresh air. They're formerly known as smoke breaks. Getting off the train during these breaks adds to the experience and is a welcome change of scenery. These breaks happen during crew changes, fuel stops, and if the train arrives early. If you decide to get off the train for a fresh air stop, follow the conductor's directions and do not wander too far from the train. Keep in mind that trains can and will leave without you if you do not get back on time. Often you will hear a few blasts from the train's horn indicating it is time to reboard the train. Other things you should know. Smoking and marijuana on the train. Along with all other Amtrak trains, the Cardinal prohibits smoking and vaping. If you are caught smoking on board, you can and will be removed from the train and fined. While marijuana is legal in many states, it is still illegal to transport or consume it on Amtrak trains because they are considered federal property. Amtrak Cardinal Wrap-Up. The Cardinal is a safe, relaxing, and fun way to enjoy your next adventure. Food overviews. Coach riders should budget some funds for the cafe car. They can always bring food and snacks on board, but Amtrak cannot store, chill, or heat them. Amtrak may provide ice for keeping your medications cool, but you need to bring a small cooler, and ice supplies are limited. Amtrak is currently offering their sleeping passengers flex dining. If you want an extra treat or need a libation, the cafe car is there for you at your expense. Other reminders: sleeping passengers can use the station lounges in Chicago, Philadelphia, and New York. And these lounges offer you priority boarding, complimentary beverages, and possibly more. Wi-Fi and streaming. This train may have Wi-Fi, but expect a few dead spots and not quick service. Amtrak uses cell-based service just like your phone, so you may not always have service. I always plan for the train not to have internet and delighted when it does. Speeds can vary depending on passenger load and location. According to the Amtrak's website, this basic Wi-Fi service supports general web browsing activities. Due to limited bandwidth on board trains, our Wi-Fi does not support high bandwidth actions such as streaming music, streaming video, and downloading large files. End quote. If you have a tablet or a smartphone, check with your streaming services to see if they allow you to download videos from home and watch them during your trip without using your data. If you do not use the onboard Wi-Fi, remember, watch your data. Watching videos and social media or other streaming can use up your data quicker than you realize. Bring and use headphones for any noise-making devices, including phones, games, etc., and turn down or silence your phone, especially at night. Remember, vibrate is a great ringtone when traveling. Headphones are must, especially for coach passengers. Remember, you're not the only one on the train. I know you listen to the best music and your electronic games are fantastic, but not everyone is into your music or want to hear you play your game, especially if they're trying to sleep. Oh yeah, don't forget that we can hear you if you're wearing your headphones and singing along. That one comes from experience. If you need to make a phone call at night, either go into the vestibule of the cars or go to the cafe car. Sleeping passengers, providing you keep the volume down, can go without headphones. I often have my iPad just loud enough to cover the noise of the train. When in doubt, use headphones. Or check and see if you can hear your device with the hallway door closed, or ask a neighbor. Remember, the walls are thin and sound can bleed through. The moral of the story: be considerate. Entertainment on the Cardinal. Amtrak supplies some very stunning views at times, and sometimes some not so stunning views. But if you need more entertainment than just looking out the window, bring some with you. Something simple like a book, magazine, a deck of cards can make the time pass by quickly. Plus, you can pre-download ebooks and podcasts, or create a travel playlist, something that you can listen to while you roll down the tracks. The most important thing that I can tell you is pack light and bring your patience. Kev's experience with the Cardinal. The Cardinal was my third long-distance train. The first one was the California Zephyr that I took in 2013 back and forth to San Francisco via Emeryville on the bus. The second one was the Capital Limited, which I took out to D.C., and then from D.C. back to Chicago, I took the Cardinal. I also took it a few other times when my sister lived in Charleston, South Carolina, and that one has a connecting bus that took me from Charlottesville to Virginia, where I took the Silver Meteor. The Cardinal's Amtrak's hidden gem. I really enjoy going along the northern section of what we consider the South and taking in the stunning views. If you've not ridden the Cardinal, give it a shot. Thank you for joining me today on this podcast. I hope that you got some value out of it. If you're interested, we do have Patreon and Buy Me a Coffee memberships available where you get these podcasts early. Plus, also that helps this channel grow. Also, don't forget to check out my blog post on the Cardinal. There is more information in there than I covered. I just wanted this to be an overview. There's the consist of all the cars and the car numbers, car layouts, and much more. Thank you for being a part of the Travels with Kev community. I look forward to hearing from you. Safe travels and see you out there. Bye.